2023 is the year of 1962 on this channel, as I continue to celebrate the completion of my Topps Super Baseball card set from that year. That doesn't mean we're going to let the company get away with some obvious airbrush jobs on subjects, caps, and jerseys. We focus so much on players, let's take a turn and look at managers who were given a fresh start with a new team. After participating in the coaching carousel for the 1961 Cubs, Harry Kraft joined the Colts, where his teams only played .400 ball for the next 3 seasons. Here, Harry is still in his Chicago uniform, as the new franchise in Houston had yet to play a game. Minnie Minoso had 2 tours of duty with the White Sox before being traded to the Cardinals in November of 1961. A gray Chicago jersey on this card is cropped to hide the logo, and the black cap has been airbrushed. Minnie's entire National League career consisted of just 39 games, and he would return to the Sox to record a hit in 1976 at 52 years of age. Another manager about to join an expansion team had major success in New York. Casey Stengel led the Yankees to 10 World Series during his 12-year stint in the Bronx, his teams winning it all 7 times. Topps brushed the logo in color blue on his 1962 card, as he was to start a new career heading the upstart Mets. You can't win them all, and Casey's team only won 175 games in 4 seasons. After a successful 3-year run in San Francisco, Sam Jones played for 3 different teams between 1962 and 64. He was drafted by Houston in the 1961 expansion draft before a trade sent him to Detroit 2 months later. His cap is positioned such that we can't make out a Giants logo in this photo. Bob Shaw jumped between the White Sox and the Athletics during the 1961 campaign. He was traded to the Braves in December that season. Topps caught wind of the news and labeled his card as a Brave, though airbrushing is quite evident on his cap. Billy Hitchcock managed exactly 1 game for the Tigers in 1960. He signed on to lead the Orioles in the 1962 season, and this card previews the skipper with a new team. If you examine his airbrush cap real close, you can make out the capital D from his old club. Another name that jumped around due to the 1961 expansion draft was Bobby Shantz. After the 61 season, his only with Pittsburgh, Bobby was drafted to the Colts and spent parts of the following campaign in Houston and St. Louis. Though his card lists him with the new club in Texas, he's still wearing a Buccos jersey. Notice the yellow trim. Bobby Tiefenauer was purchased by the Colts from the Cardinals in October of 1961. He would bounce around to 4 more clubs before his career ended in 1968, including 3 stops alone in '65. If you examine this picture, you'll discover Topps did a poor job of brushing out the STL on his cap. This man needs a video all to himself. Harry Cheedy, who moved between clubs 7 times as part of either a trade, purchase, draft, or return, is listed here as a member of the Indians. He was traded to Cleveland from Baltimore in November of 1961. He was then purchased by the Mets in April of '62, and less than 2 months later returned to the Tribe, though he never appeared in 1 game for them, ever. Here the Orioles cap and jersey are filled in pretty well. Gordon Winhorn did not have a memorable career, hitting just .176 in 95 total games. He was traded from the Dodgers to the Kansas City Athletics following the 1961 season. After 14 games, he was part of another trade that moved him back to LA, this time to play for the American League Angels. Here he's still adorned in a Dodgers road jersey and poorly brushed cap. Here's Vic Power, listed on his 1962 card as a member of the Twins. But check out his jersey. Reads Indians to me. After 3.5 seasons in Cleveland, where he gained 3 Gold Gloves and 4 All-Star selections, he was traded to Minnesota in April of 1962. The change did not affect his performance, as he secured 2 more Gold Gloves in 1963 and '64. How's this for an example of bad airbrushing? Sammy White, who was troublesome in not wanting to be part of certain trades, see my 1960 airbrush video for the story, signed as a free agent with the Phillies in March of '62. Topps brushed in his Milwaukee Braves cap to somewhat match Philadelphia's color pattern, and the small pinstripes of the jersey are acceptable. Bobby Smith racked up a bunch of miles between October of 1961 and June of '62, as he was selected by the Mets in the expansion draft, traded to the Cubs in April, then traded to the Cardinals in June. He was picked up by the Red Sox in 1963, but never played for them. Though listed as a member of St. Louis, Topps was lazy in keeping his Cubs uniform untouched and avoiding any logos to be shown. On the back of this card, Topps mentions that Bob Grimm was about to make his major league comeback after spending 1961 in the minors. He appeared in just 12 games for Kansas City before being released in June of 1962. Those would be the final career games for the 1954 American League Rookie of the Year. This picture could have been taken while with any one of the 3 teams he played for in 1960. This entire picture looks painted, even the sky. Our 6th Bob in this video, Bob Miller, spent 1957 through 1961 in the military, then the minor leagues. After 6 games with the Reds in 1962, where his ERA was over 21, he was traded to the Mets in May. There he picked up 2 wins in 17 games and called it a career. Dean Stone made 18 appearances for the Cardinals in 1959 and did not appear in the majors during the next 2 seasons. He was acquired by Houston in the Rule 5 draft in November of 1961 and would eventually be traded to the White Sox in June of '62. Topps did a better job in shading the cap and blurring the jersey in this photo, as it is difficult to determine what team was represented at the time.